Hello and welcome. Today I'm adding Stormlord and Stormlord 2 from the C64 collections 1 and 3 to my ever-growing list where I rank every Evercade game ever. Stormlord was originally released by Hewson in 1989 for the C64, ZX Spectrum, Amiga and Atari ST. And it's the C64 version we have on the Evercade, obviously as it's on a C64 collection. Developed by Rafael Checo, if I've said that correctly, with music by Jerome Tell among others. Stormlord has become almost a meme for its fairy boobies, although it was censored in some versions, like the Mega Drive one. It reviewed very well when it was released on the home micros, and it is one I played back in the day, although not a huge amount, and I quite liked it and never got very far on it, but it was always one that I wanted to play more of. So Evercade gave me that chance, and yeah, we'll get to that. Let's start off with the
graphics.
It's not bad for the C64, although I think you can tell, I think the original or base version of the game was the Spectrum one, and there is a certain Spectrum-like quality to the graphics with the black background, although it's more colourful than that on the C64. But everything is well rendered, you can tell what's supposed to be what, there's a definite sort of artistry to it. So yeah, I'd say it's a good looking C64 game for the most part.
Sound and music.
There is no sound, only music, but it is a cracking tune.
Gameplay.
As the titular Stormlord, you can walk left and right, you can jump, you can fire, and you can hold down fire to fire at daggers as opposed to fireballs, and you can pick up objects. There isn't a pick up button, you just walk into an object, it picks it up. You walk into another object, it replaces it, as you can only carry one at a time. And initially you might think it's more of an action game, but it's really more like a Dizzy game. It's a puzzle platformer, or a puzzle action game. The controls are a bit stiff, but again that wasn't uncommon for the C64 and home micros in general. There's no health or energy here, you get hit by anything and you die. But you do get plenty of lives, so that's something, I guess. It's really quite a methodical, thoughtful game, but also when you've got to be quick at it, you're on a time limit. So learning the levels and knowing what you've got to do is key. Really, it's not an overly long game. At least once you know what you're doing and you pull it off successfully and play through it, it won't take you that long, under 25 minutes. But learning it is a different matter. And the type of gameplay it's not going to appeal to everyone, that's for sure. And it's likely to frustrate most people, which is generally the reception it's had on the Evercade.
Overall opinion.
It's safe to say that Stormlord is something of a relic of the home micro era. One that isn't a bad game if you have the patience for it. But I certainly wouldn't call it a great game, and even saying it's good may be a bit borderline. But I enjoyed it enough to play through it once. I didn't really want to play through it again for this playthrough. I got some footage, remembered so much, but once I ran out of time and I just didn't want to go back and get more or try and get better. Like I say, I've played it through, I've had my fun with it, and that was quite enough. Okay, I will do the ranking at the end of the video, so getting on to Deliverance, Stormlord 2, which was released in 1990 and is obviously the sequel. Stormlord 2 is a more action-based game. I suppose it's what many people might have thought the first would have been based on screenshots. There's no item juggling or puzzles, it's pure action. But it's also quite unusual action. This time there's 6 action-packed levels and boss fights, as well as some bonus rounds.
Graphics.
I mean, really, it's not that far from the first game in the visual front. So again, for the C64, it doesn't look bad.
Sound and music.
You can choose between sound and music, and I generally played with music. The music is not as memorable as in the first game, but it does suit the action, so pretty good music. The sound effects, if you're playing with sound, they're fine.
Gameplay.
With it being a more arcade action-based game, you'd think things would be quite different, but the main controls are pretty much the same. There are other weapons and power-ups to pick up, and while it is certainly more action-packed and action-oriented, there are things that get in the way of it feeling like you might expect. For one, the jump is weird. You have a sort of double, or is it triple jump, type thing, allowing you to jump multiple times in the air. It takes a while to get used to, let's put it that way. Also, the Stormlord sprite is quite large, and for a more action-oriented game, it makes you an easy target. There is a little bit of slowdown and flicker at times, but what really gets it is the way the action is laid out. You're not just shooting oncoming targets. Sometimes the screen will stop scrolling, you'll take out a number of targets for a period of time before you can move on. Finding the right position and destroying all the enemies is key. The bosses are not the most complex or amazing bosses you'll ever see, but for the C64 I think they're pretty good. But there are some sections which have a sort of puzzle-like element to them. You can't just move forward and keep shooting because that will result in instant death, and you have to slow down or avoid certain things or take out specific enemies, resulting in a sort of a trial and error approach being required. Again, it's very much a game that is a relic of the home micro era, and the oddities of it are certainly, well, they've certainly been enough to put people off. The general reception on the Evercade hasn't been that positive.
Overall opinion.
Stormlord 2 is both better and worse than the first game. I mean, it's very different in many ways, and it's the game that I enjoyed more back in the day, although I only ever played a demo of it. It is fairly unusual for a sort of action platform shootery type thing, and no doubt it's not for everyone. But if, like me, you are prepared to persevere with it to see it through, it's not actually that bad once you learn the quirks, but yeah, it's hardly an essential game. Ranking. Right, I'm going to do both of these together. I'm actually going to place them right next to each other because although they're quite different, I think they're I think they're largely on par with each other, just in different ways. So I've elected to put them above Karate Champ, with Stormlord 2 directly above it, and then Stormlord above that, and that is below Full Contact, placing them at 296 and 297 respectively, out of 386 games that I've ranked so far. I'm sure people that have only played them a little bit would rank them lower. I can fully understand people bouncing off them. But as I mentioned, I did persevere and found some to enjoy with them. I think they've ranked okay, but I couldn't justify putting them any higher. Anyway, I think that covers it for the Stormlord games. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.